My name is Lila, and I've always believed life was ordinary. I own a small antique shop in a quiet town. Every day, I wake up, brew my coffee, open my store, and wait for customers. My life wasn't exciting, but I liked it that way. Simple and predictable. But one rainy afternoon, everything changed. It was a slow day at the shop. I was dusting a shelf of vintage lamps when I heard the bell on the door ring. A man entered. He looked ancient, with a face carved by wrinkles and eyes heavy with secrets. He carried a small dusty clock wrapped in a faded cloth. He walked straight to the counter and placed it down. "This is not for sale," he said, his voice low and raspy. "It's a gift. But remember, use it wisely." I frowned. "I don't understand. Why are you giving this to me?" "You will," he replied with a sad smile. Then, just as mysteriously as he had arrived, he turned and walked out into the rain. I unwrapped the clock. It was beautiful yet odd. A small wooden box with intricate carvings and golden hands that didn't move forward, but backward. I didn't think much of it then. I assumed it was broken, but something about it felt alive. That night, I brought the clock home and placed it on my desk. As I sat there, staring at its backward movement, curiosity got the better of me. I turned its golden dial just for fun, and suddenly, everything around me flickered. I found myself back in my shop, 3 hours earlier. At first, I thought I was imagining things. But when I looked at the clock on the wall, it confirmed what I feared. I had traveled back in time. My heart raced. I couldn't believe it. Was this real? Could the clock actually control time? Over the next few days, I tested it. Forgot my keys. Turned back time. Burned dinner. Go back 5 minutes. It felt like a superpower. I was careful, though only using it for small, harmless things. But life had a way of testing me. One bright Saturday morning, my younger brother Ethan came to visit. He was 24, full of energy and mischief. We spent the day together, laughing, playing cards, and reminiscing about our childhood. As he left, he waved and said, "See you tomorrow, Lila." But tomorrow never came. That night, I got a call from the hospital. Ethan had been in a car accident. He didn't survive. My world shattered. Ethan was my only family. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the day in my head, wishing I had stopped him from leaving. Then it hit me. The clock. With shaking hands, I turned the clock back 24 hours. The world flickered, and suddenly, it was yesterday. Ethan was in my kitchen, smiling, alive. I ran to him and hugged him tightly. "Whoa, what's this for?" He laughed. "You're not leaving today," I said. He frowned but didn't argue. We spent the whole day at home. I thought I had saved him. But that night, I got another call. This time, Ethan had fallen down the stairs in my house. He died instantly. I was devastated. I tried again. turning the clock back another 24 hours. This time, I made him stay with me all day and night. But the next morning, he choked on his breakfast and died. No matter how many times I turned the clock, I couldn't save him. Fate always found a way. One sleepless night, as I sat staring at the clock, the old man appeared again. He was sitting in my living room, as if he had been there all along. "You've been using the clock," he said. "I just wanted to save him," I sobbed. "Why won't it work?" The man sighed deeply. "The clock doesn't change fate. It only delays it. The more you try to fix things, the worse they'll get. Some events are meant to happen." "Lila, then why give it to me?" I demanded. "To teach you a lesson," he said. "Time is precious. You can't rewrite the past. You can only live in the present and make the most of it." He vanished, leaving me alone with the clock and a heart full of regret. For weeks, I didn't touch the clock. I tried to move on, but grief consumed me. One day, a thought crossed my mind. What if I could go back further? What if I could stop Ethan from ever getting in that car? Ignoring the man's warning, I turned the clock back a full year. The world flickered violently this time, and I felt a sharp pain in my head. When I opened my eyes, I was standing in my old apartment, surrounded by boxes. It was the day Ethan had helped me move. I decided to keep him close that whole year, guiding his choices, subtly steering him away from danger. At first, it seemed to work, but as the days passed, I noticed something strange. The more I meddled with time, the more things around me began to unravel. People I knew acted differently. Events didn't play out as I remembered, and Ethan started to grow distant, as if he sensed something was wrong. One evening, I found Ethan sitting on the porch, staring into the distance. "Lila," he said quietly, "I don't feel like myself anymore. It's like I'm not supposed to be here." His words hit me like a punch. Had I done this to him? That night, I looked at the clock and realized the truth. The more I used it, the more I was breaking the natural flow of time. I had to let go. With tears streaming down my face, I turned the clock forward, letting it return me to the present. The world flickered one last time, and I was back in my shop. Alone, Ethan was gone. But this time, I let myself grieve properly. I didn't fight it. Years passed. I stopped using the clock and hid it away in the shop, out of sight. I began to live differently, cherishing every moment, every smile, every hug. I built new memories, made new friends, and found peace. One day, a young woman walked into my shop. She looked lost, burdened. Her eyes fell on the clock. "This is beautiful," she said. "What's its story?" I hesitated before replying. "It's not for sale. It's a gift. But if you take it, promise me one thing. Use it wisely." As she left, I smiled, hoping she would learn the lesson I had fought so hard to understand. Time is precious and unchangeable. Instead of trying to rewrite the past, we must focus on living fully in the present. The moments we have are fleeting but beautiful, and they should be cherished before they slip away. If you like the story, please like the video And also subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos.